In a spiritual life, we understand that everything is presence. You can meet anyone, anywhere, and when you completely fall inside yourself and you're calm and quiet, you'll make a best friend instantly. If there's something wrong with the friend, you can fix them. If you come into a world system and you're spiritual, you're completely quiet inside, you can come to terms with that world system by not giving it anything. I'm talking about the planet Earth, the world, the material world, what's called Maya in Sanskrit, meaning the illusion. Because when you're spiritual, the world is an illusion. It may not be to other people, and you take on all the pain of it out of a compassionate sense so you can meet people in the middle and try to explain why it is an illusion and how they can let it go permanently and forever. You can come into a world system like planet Earth with 8 billion souls and not giving it anything, looking right through it. All spiritual people have this sense 24 hours a day. $8 billion souls. They're not people, they're not bodies. And in truth, they're not even souls. There's one soul, one God. It's one presence. And if you meet it that clearly, you can eviscerate all the negativity, all the what's called Maya. You can negate it in your consciousness. If you're really clear on what's being said. Jesus Christ in the scripture said, if any man taketh my cross, doesn't take up my cross, he's not worthy of me. Meaning take the whole thing on. It's not doing something in public, it's doing something in the meditative plane. And then you can move amongst the people along the streets, climb the mountaintops, and sing the songs. But when you really take on the whole thing, which is what spirituality is meant to be. It's not about you being happy or helping 12 people or clearing the streets in your neighborhood. It's about cleaning all the streets in all the neighborhoods. That's spirituality. You're not here to grow in spirituality. If you're here and you're spiritual, you're spiritual. You have always been spiritual. You will always be spiritual, meaning you have a oneness in conscious awareness, a simplicity, a warmth, a decency. It's like a soft fog in the morning. You see right through it all the time. You know what I'm saying? And then the dark thing that owns this world, that seems to be a world, is all over you because you want to fix it all, everyone. And you will. But you're never fooled. You understand? You're never fooled. Once you take the whole thing on, then you understand that everything is thought form, then you can own it. It's not something you're proud of. You can't even talk about it because I'm doing it for this session we have together, but it's something you just do. A friend is sick, you don't get all concerned, you get very quiet and you very lightly take on their problems. You fill them from the inside with your presence and very quietly don't believe in whatever the problem is. That's how you heal a friend, your mom, a puppy. That's how you heal the whole world. And that's the only way to do it, is to take on the whole world. And then incidental problems are a piece of cake. I'm not saying it lightly to take any of the trauma away from getting there, but that's what it is when you're there. It's wonderful to be you at this time. To understand that spirituality is for everything and everyone, and always. And this dark force that owns this world, I have to make it very clear again, it's an infinitesimal, it's infinitely smaller than a grain of sand. When you're conscious of God, it's infinity, eternity. So the world system Anything that's solid is not. So you can take it on because you're not encapsulated by it at all. You're simply here. You are a presence. This presence that you are is what will last forever. The form that is around you, the circumstance, all the pain, all the trauma, it'll be gone on your watch. You're the one we've waited for. It's not so difficult when you realize the reward. You'll go back in time and fix your mom who maybe died prematurely from this condition or that condition, and you realize her life wasn't what it should be. This isn't said lightly, because everything that happened to everyone in the world in history is part of this dark temptation to believe that this is here. Again, it happened in an otherwise infinitely glorious universe. The planet Earth, even the stars in the sky, they're the illusion. But starlight, that delicate sense you see at midnight when you're out in the wooded area and there's no city lights, and you have that sense how delicate that light is. That's who you are, except infinitely more delicate than that. You're made of starlight, but heavenly starlight. And then it's easy to see that it's not such a big deal. It's a joy to sit back quietly in your easy chair and drift off at a time or an hour of your choosing. I remember being with some Tibetan lamas one time doing those sand paintings that are just gorgeous, mandalas they do. And some hippie type person asked them a question, what about the environment? I'm like, this isn't like a political stand. These are holy monks and lamas that are sit quietly. And they said, oh, and they did a little prayer for the environment. They didn't think political. They thought, oh, they're thinking of the trees and the mountains and the rivers. So they did a prayer, and then it doesn't matter what those, wherever they were, asked for the prayer. It's like, so for the next 3 to 5 weeks in that area, when I was with them, the lamas, it was like that whole area, the rivers, the streams, the mountains, the flowers were 1,000 times more enhanced with beauty, with that natural openness that you feel. So they did a prayer for the environment, but I'm saying what's spiritual is spiritual. What's of the world is of the world. And anything of the world will not last this time because of you. Because you'll understand it. You just need the simple intention to know that this is Maya, that it doesn't need to be, and yes, it's horrible and violent and vile, but if you simply enjoy the spiritual presence that you are and let go of the madness, know everything that made your personality, I'm not good enough for this, I'm too heavy or light or short or tall or medium, anything about you, just drop all that. That's what's hit you. And the more intelligent you are, the more complex these temptations come at us with. But if you drop simply in your quiet, don't accept any of it, and you'll see all the dark beings that are trying to force this creepiness around us. They can't touch you. The thing called Satan, Lucifer, or whatever, the dark force, if you give it nothing. And it takes a lot of guts, but all you do is drop your thinking mind, and there's a spiritual mind that will rise. It's an openness, a softness, a grace, a dignity, a purity, a beauty. And then you'll understand everything. The Bible says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For it is written upon the seas and established upon the floods. Now these are mystical statements said 3,000 years ago in the desert, and So the language is meant to be poetic and spiritual, and it drifts. It's written upon the seas and established upon the floods. That's poetry. It's divine. It's sense. Oh, it just says that it's this presence. So no matter what the world seems to be, it never was. And you'll go through a few years of trial and error, testing all the different presences. And not testing by meaning they'll be coming at you. Everything about your life that's distorted has been coming at you from birth. Birth is, you are the divine birth. You're the pure one. If you're spiritual, you feel this, and your presence, and you are spiritual, we know we're spiritual, being born here is the greatest act of heroism in eternity. This is a hell. I beg you to understand that. Everything that happened to you was a lie. Well, look how pure and innocent you are that you allowed it to be. You allowed yourself to fall into this cave in hell out of compassion. Once you're here and you see that, just fall a little deeper into the quiet. Become the quiet. You'll gather strength. You'll have many gifts and powers, they're called in the Orient. But powers, it's not fighting, it's fighting with a lightness. Or the breath of a bird. It's just, you see? You'll see it all coming at you. I know once I overcame the whole world back in '76, I just lived out in the Redwoods, had a place, and I figured, well, I'll do this. Once I realized it was all that, I knew that before then, but I took it on, and then I started looking for it under the rocks in the future when it would come at me. Does that make sense? You don't have to take it. Said with great respect of who you are, of what you've given. You gave up eternity with God to be this. You're not this, you're that, all of it. There are hardly words to describe the purity and beauty of you. Your innate dignity. My friend just came back from Florence here, Jessica, and if you see the original art there, her son's studying art, and then you walk outside and you'll go to the churches, you'll see the original artwork. I don't think, unless you understand, you've seen real master artwork, real art. You'll never watch a TV again. You can look at this stuff for hours. I certainly have. Look at the real God. You'll find God in your heart. You'll find God is, even though we can never accept it, God is our heart. It's very humbling. And it's something you can't share with a neighbor, but you can share with a friend. A friend might be a neighbor. When you strengthen yourself, empower yourself divinely. I say divinely because there is a God. There is divine providence. You are the essence, projection, and truth of that. You'll end all the problems of the world. It's biblical. It's not just about meditation. It's about employing this power of being able to expand through the living light and overcome all the difficulties surrounding living in this world. No matter what it is, historical, present, political, on the street where you live, your family, a relationship. You'll look right through it all, realize everything is divine essence, and you'll fold up all the streets without half trying. You are a high roller in a low rent neighborhood. This world is not such a big deal for you. Guilty without wanting to be, and innocent without knowing. Goethe's beautiful statement. In other words, this is who we are. We're here. The world makes you guilty for being here, and that's the setup. That's the trap. Pull back from that. You'll have visions and visitations. This is an empowerment session. So after this, when my friends Tibetan Lamas, they blessed the area, then the area was blessed. You'll be blessed. You'll do this for your friend, the neighborhood, and students and teachers and loved ones, and your family and your pets and your place of work. And it all surrounds your place of integrity, the human heart that wills divine love and kindness and healing. You'll become very powerful. We try not to show this, but there's something in here that's fearless. And from time to time, you'll have visitations that things that are solid you realize are not solid. And it'll be different for all of us. And sometimes it'll be very rare. I'll have circumstances when I'm doing construction and something completely miraculous happens, and I'm not even going to discuss it or something, then it's other things. And it doesn't happen that often, but it's just to remind you this isn't real, even though the daily work of it is very delicate. You're working with souls, personalities, people. But it will improve your workplace, your family life. And you really can't discuss it because of the difficult arena we're working in. We're so humble inside. So things that we could say, we don't say, because if we're around someone who's completely spiritual, then we can open all of it up. Find a spiritual friend. Create one. Help someone. Lift the veil of materiality by knowing it doesn't exist. That's why it's called the illusion. It's not concrete. It's not cement. It's not stone. It's not wood. It's not metal. It's nothingness. And then you'll have the power to heal, to help, to redirect. You'll become incredibly intelligent. All the holy people, intelligent people I've known, spiritual, are very, very subtle in their approach and understanding of life. An old friend I had, Dog Hammarskjöld, the people visit me all day, every day, all of my life. He was the second Secretary General of United Nations, and he was like completely here in the quiet. But around the political realm, you can't show that. You'll look very tough, but it's because he's very quiet. So, no matter what your life is, you can be here. Like Ram Dass said, be here now. Remember that? There is a here and a now that's so pure and so wonderful. It's finer than a midnight kiss. It's just, and that's who you are. You will end all the madness without half trying by being aware of the transcendence of the human heart. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Mr. Skolton.